back again. Back again. You know what I mean? I tell you, when it rains on this channel, it pours heavily. It's all about sports today. I'm in the mood, I'm in the groove. What about yourself? Come on. ISTV. Friday Sport Preview Show. The dawn is kicking. It's heavy. I'm live. I'm the everything. I'm not scared about sports tomorrow. I'm the Manchester United. Manchester United fan, gather here. I tell you, I'm not always on this show. I'm loaded. We are back again. All right, that being said, let me tell you something, people. This is Intercontinental Sport TV. Right here, right now. Listen to this. This is where you get all the grooves, the vibes about sport, everything about sports. We call it Friday Sports Preview. As you can see, we are ready. I'm ready with all this, my audience. I'm talking about my ISTV crew. Yes, we are ready. Please subscribe to this channel. If you have not done so, what are you waiting for? Join us. You know what I mean? Subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about sport. What do you think? What do you mean? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to feel? Or I'm saying, you know, I'm talking about, I'm not always here alone. I'm always with the best crew so far in the world. I'm talking about sports analysts. Forget about it. Today, we are looking at the game week 2 preview of EPL, English Premier League. It is what it is. Quick debates for today. You're not going to see what we're going to talk about. Also, the question surrounding Manchester United and M.Greenwood, the decision, and also other people talk. They say it is what it is. This is how we do it. Do me a favor, smash the like on the video. Share this video. Let's go viral. You know what I mean? So many things coming up. I have great content on this channel. We are ready. Slicing it, kicking it, doing it beautifully. I'm telling you, they call me the Don of Sports Entertainment. Let me tell you something. This is where you get all sports talk from. So welcoming. I'm going to use this music. As I've said, today is Friday. Let's get into the groove. Welcoming this great gentleman all the way from United Kingdom. Ope is here with me. He's ready. Let's do it, Ope. Or what do you think, Ope? Can we go ahead? Talk to me, Ope. You are welcome to the show.
The Dawn, TGIF, this Friday. I'm so happy to be on ISTV today. Let's go get the ball rolling.
I'm telling you, this man is also joining us. I'm talking about Seyomi Diora. Seyomi Diora kind of is a Chelsea fan. He's also a Napoleon, I tell you. Shaya, you're welcome to the show. Why are you going back again? Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah. Good evening, the Dawn. Good evening, Nope. Good evening to all our listeners and all the guys who are going to analyze the weekend's football with together. I think I'm looking forward to the action. Serie A returns tomorrow. I am buzzing. And then we had a pretty interesting weekend of football last weekend, the Premier League, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow's games will be even much more fascinating. So I can't wait to get started on today's show.
All right, you can hear it for the man. Seyomi Diora is here. Fantastic. He's ready. I want to call on this great man. I don't know whether he's in Ibadan. I don't know whether he's in Ife right now, but he's somewhere right there in Nigeria. Not talking about this wicked man, Robbie Fowler. I call him Robbie. All right. What's going on, bro?
Good evening to you. Good evening to Ope, and good evening to who's that one again? Good evening to Ope, and good evening to Cheye. It's good to have you guys here again, and of course, it's good to be back on the program. Just like Cheye rightly said, we have 2 very, very important games over the course of the weekend. United against Tottenham Hotspur, then Newcastle against Manchester City. That is one game nobody have to take their eyes away from, because a lot of drama is going to happen in that game. In as much as I believe we're going to have a VAR drama, the teams also will put up a big fight, because no team wants to get left behind at this very crucial time of the season. So on that note, I say good evening. Let us get started.
All right, you can hear it from that man with his vibes. The music is making me to feel like tomorrow Manchester United will go all the way. I don't know about your club. I don't know about Chelsea. I don't care about Arsenal. They'll be filing it out on Monday. Now let me tell you, for Manchester United, 3 points. I can view it. I can see the vision. I can dream. Dream. With that dream being said, I'm going to call on this great man. He's a Chelsea fan to the core, to the bone, to the flesh. He's breathing Chelsea. He's drinking Chelsea's blood right there. He's not a vampire. Not talk about this man. I'm telling you, his name is Prof. I call him Dotun. Dotun, you're welcome to the show. What's going on, bro?
I'm drinking Chelsea's blood.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
Good evening to the world, our listeners. It's another weekend of Premier League football. There's a Friday night football. I like when Premier League starts with a Friday night football. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's how to go. We want football every day, please.
Every day.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. You can hear it from that man. That's for him, man. I tell you, you're welcome to the show once again. Prof, it is what it is. All right. The woman standing. They can't call it. I won't say it's the last man standing, but a last woman standing. The Iron Eagle herself. The great woman. She's ready. Manchester United. She loved Manchester United to the bone. Then she called me. He said, Manchester, are we talking about Manchester United today? I said, why not? He said, I'll join the channel. She subscribed right away. And I tell you, she's even laughing. Can I bring her on? All right, let me bring her on. Margaret, you're welcome to the show. What's going on, sis? Talk to me.
My name is synonymous to Manchester United. A great club with history, and club that almost all the players want to play for.
Yeah.
So, and then, good evening, guys in the studio. I'm so happy to be here, and also waiting for tomorrow for Sunday final. At least we've been distracted a bit from the World Cup, the Premier League resumption. Football across Europe has actually distracted us a bit from the Women's World Cup. But on Sunday, I don't think we'll be totally distracted, because it's going to be an history-making finals. We will get to see, since 2015, since the last 2 World Cup, we'll get to see a new winners other than United States. And it now happens to be 2 national teams that have never won it before. They'll have in the final. So we'll get to see new winner. And not just that, one fantastic thing about this Spanish team is that last year we know they had an issue with between the manager, the coach, and the players. So there was a lot of issues in that team. I actually thought that by before now, maybe the coach might have been sacked, but fortunately, he's still there with them, and it took them to their first ever final. So tomorrow, I can't actually wait. On Sunday, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And then tomorrow, I can't wait to see, oh my God, Man United beating the boys from London. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, I'm so happy. It's weekend, yeah.
All right, you're welcome to the show once again. Let's go this way. All right, moving on to this. The quick debates. What we have for our viewers today. Let's get straight into this. I want to talk about this frigate man, Declan Rice, an Arsenal fan, Arsenal player, and Jude Bellingham, Real Madrid player. Casido. I think Prof would like this guy, Casido. All right, the quick debate, straight up. Start one, bench one, drop one. Let me start with you, Prof. Which one are you going to go for? Go for it, bro. Talk to me, Prof. Quick debate, straight up. Start one, bench one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, loud and clear. He is just also joining us. Start one, bench one, drop one. Go for it, bro.
Look, for me, I don't think the players, they have different qualities. So Declan Rice, as we all know, is more of a defensive-minded player. Moises Caicedo is the same. They are more destructive. But Jude Bellingham is more of a forward player. He's a more forward-thinking midfielder. He likes to get in the box and make things happen in and around the box. So there's a little bit of disparity between these players. But just for the sake of the argument, I will start. God, this is very difficult, but I will start Moises Caicedo.
I mean,
we're talking about the most expensive expensive player in Premier League right now, Moises Caicedo. So I will start him. Because I think he's a very, very brilliant boy, and he has a lot of years ahead of him. He can do both jobs. He can defend. He can, and he can also move the ball forward. His passing range is very fantastic. I'm going to bench Jude Bellingham. I'll bench Jude Bellingham. He's a player that I can bring in if I'm looking for goals to affect the game, right? And then I'll drop Declan Rice, who I think is a little bit overrated. So yeah, that's my.
Oh my goodness! Declan Rice been dropped. Oh my goodness! Prof is saying it's going to drop Declan Rice. I can't believe it. All right, that being said, straight up 1-0. All right, I'm going to call upon this great man, Okwe Adebari. Now, I have this debate. Quick one. Start one. Bench one. Drop one. I have Declan Rice. I have Jude Bellingham and Caicedo. Talk to me, Okwe. Which one do you go for?
Start Jude Bellingham. Yes. Bench Moises Caicedo. Drop Declan Rice.
I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. Drop Declan Rice. All right.
Good man.
He's going to start Bellingham, bench Caicedo. He said he's going to even say he's not going to drop. He said he's going to sell rice right now. The jollof rice. I go, my goodness. Oh, fair play. Kule, you're a bad guy. Good guy, bad guy. All right, let's go straight to this. That is, I'm going to call upon Robbie. Robbie, talk to me. Quick debate. Start one, bench one, drop one. I don't want to say sell one, but I'm going to say drop one. I have Declan Rice.
I love the way you put it. You said quick debate. So I'm actually going to start Bellingham. I would bench Caicedo and I'll sell Declan Rice.
Oh, everybody is selling this rice. They want to turn this guy to jollof rice. Why are you selling this guy? Declan Rice. Jude Bellingham, Moses
Caicedo. The rice is basmati rice. We don't like basmati rice.
All right. All of them dropping it. Margaret, have I called you so far? Margaret, talk to me. Can you go for this quick debate? Straight up.
Okay, quick one. For me, I need goals. I'll go with Jude Bellingham. I will bench Caicedo and Declan Rice. I'll look for it. I'll just look for where to drop him.
Ayo! Look at that. Declan Rice again. Drop. I don't want to use sell because it will be like you're selling your low price. All right, Declan Rice. It is what it is. All right. Now let me call on this one. Quick debate. I know what you're going to say. Or go for it, bro. You talk to me. Sell one. Start one. Bench one. Drop one.
Well, I think it's pretty easy. The one that you're meant to drop. Drop Rice without thinking twice.
Pretty bad. Whoa. Talk to
yeah. If you don't drop Rice, I'll question your football knowledge. I'm sorry. Drop Rice. Bench. I'm actually conflicted because I feel it depends on what your team needs. Like I think Prof mentioned.
Yeah.
If you want goals in your midfielder, you go for Bellingham, obviously. So, depending on what your team requires, though. But if we're just to start on our bench, I'll probably start with Bellingham and then bench Caicedo.
Then we'll sell what? Yeah, we are going to sell one and drop one.
Start Bellingham, bench Caicedo, and drop Rice without thinking twice.
No wala. I know your address. All right, step out. He's in the building. You're welcome to the show. We have this quick debate. Straight up, I know your answer is. Can I tell the viewers? Talk to me, please. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, very loud and clear.
All right, bro, go for it.
First off, I don't know who brought this combination together because and it just looks as if everybody is just having a laugh and trying to select or put a dump on Declan Rice.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. That's what it looks like. If I'm a stranger and I'm looking at everybody's select, even I'm surprised by saying drop Declan Rice. First off, football knowledge, like you said, like Sheyi mentioned, this three is only two that plays the same role in the combination of these three. So it's between Declan Rice and Moses Caicedo. I don't know if Bellingham can play as a 6 or play as a defensive cover. I really don't. I'm not really a fan of him. I see what he plays for England, and I don't see him play that protective role or that defensive role. I see him play as more of a central midfielder.
Yeah.
So I feel it's unfair putting him among these two, Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo. But him being the X factor there, I know everybody's starting him. In terms of goal attributes, goal contribution, he does it far better than these two that we have here. But if we're talking about defensive attributes, what each person brings to the table between Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo, I feel Declan Rice offers more because Moises Caicedo is just starting his career. 2 years with Brighton or 3 seasons with Brighton, if I may say. And if you look at stats, numbers is what happens. Forget the fact that he was bought for £110 million by Chelsea, who seems to think he's worth that amount. But in terms of comparing both players, Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo, Declan Rice offers more. He has experience, is older. And if you see in the England squad, whenever the Three Lions gather, Southgate prefers to start the Manchester United guy. What's his name again? Fridge. Yeah, Maguire.
Maguire.
It feels it's safe with him, despite Maguire not playing regularly in club. But that's by the way. So let me don't segue into that. But looking at what we have currently, like I said, I feel it's not balanced. I don't know who brought up this, but any good day, anytime, as someone who loves goals, I will start Jude Bellingham and I'll bench Declan Rice and drop Caicedo because he's just starting his career. Come on, what has he done?
Yes.
What has he done?
All right, I agree with you, man. All right. Moving on to the next one. Please drop your comments. Anybody watching this, anywhere you're watching from, drop your comment. The quick debate for today starts one, bench one, drop one. 3 great players being shown on the screen right now. Moving on to the next one, we have the fixtures for this weekend. Any moment from now, Nottingham Forest will be welcoming Sheffield United. I tell you, it's going to be massive. And also we have Fulham welcoming Brentford tomorrow, and then Liverpool was to welcome Bournemouth. Brighton, can you imagine me traveling all the way to the Wolves that Pepe Manchester United, but they lost that game. Also, 12:30 Eastern time tomorrow to beat Manchester United. Traveling all the way to London to beat Spurs. I tell you, we are going to beat them. Mark this, clip this, mercilessly tomorrow. And I'll tell you, on Saturday, another cracking game. Man City welcoming Newcastle. That will be another battle. So let me start with you straight up. See if you can hear me loud and clear. With this match fixtures, Man City versus Newcastle. What do you think about the game? Straight up. Let's start with that. I think it's a massive game tomorrow. Man City, Newcastle. Can you hear me loud and clear? I think I lost him right there.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
All right, go for it, bro. Talk about this game. Man City, Newcastle. It's a massive game tomorrow. What do you think about the game?
Yeah, great one, because both teams, we know Man City on the front foot, or they're coming from being winners of the Super Cup, and they're high on that, basking in the euphoria of winning the Super Cup, being the third English team to have done that after Chelsea and is it Liverpool or Manchester United? I don't really care, but they're the third team to have done that. And it's a tricky tie because we see Newcastle. We saw what happened in the first week of the EPL, how they pummeled Aston Villa that we all prepped at the beginning of the season, that the manager, which is former Arsenal manager Unai Emery, did well in the summer transfer. And you see, when push comes to shove, when it came to the real deal, we saw how they felt like a pack of cards, and Newcastle just took them to pieces, defeating them that day. And Newcastle going to the Etihad Stadium. Last season, they gave Manchester City a run for their money at Newcastle. That's when they were home. I think Man City were 3-0 up and they came back 3-3. But the reverse fixture at the Etihad, Man City took them to pieces, took them apart. I think they lost that 2-0 or 3-0 if I'm not mistaken. So this is another opportunity for the Newcastle manager to show what he has been doing ever since he started the review 2 seasons ago when he came in as a manager. Now it's an opportunity to show. Man City played midweek, Newcastle didn't, coming from that Super Cup which they played. I know Guardiola had one eye on this weekend's game. He rested. John Stones didn't feature. The Portuguese, Ruben Dias didn't feature. And I didn't see Bernardo Silva. I didn't see Bernardo Silva play that day. So he rested some of his legs. And definitely that is what he will be starting with. I'm sure John Stones, Ruben Dias, and the likes will start in this game. They are home. The fans will be behind them. We've seen from the beginning of the season, or the first week of the season, we didn't see Man City play like we ought they should play, or like we know how they play. They struggled against Burnley, but they had chances, they buried their chances, and they won 3-0. I'm looking at a tight game here, and I know Newcastle will give Man City a run for their money, but there will be a lot of goals in this. There will be a lot of goals, and I don't know if it's Man City that will score more that would win, because that Man City's defense looks a bit shaky, but Newcastle have the players to hurt Man City. I just want to sit on the fence on this one. Look out for a good game. I know it's going to be a good game for neutrals to watch because it's going to be attacking. Depending on the approach, I know Guardiola wouldn't go defensive, but at times, the manager of Newcastle, at times, just to be safe, he tries to go defensive like he did at the Emirates against Arsenal. When he came to play against Arsenal, he just went defensive, just set up the low blocks and wanted to hit Arsenal on the counter. Would that be what he would want to do tomorrow? Nobody knows, because at this moment he is well equipped. He has depth. He has players that he can bring in to change the dynamics of the game. He has John Barnes from Leicester City that he signed. He has this other guy, the striker that sits on the bench, and the Swedish guy starts ahead of him. Their names is failing me right now. But I feel Newcastle at this time have depth, and I wouldn't be surprised Isak, thank you. And I would not be surprised if tomorrow Newcastle go toe-to-toe with Man City and not be defensive. Like I said, as a neutral, I want to watch a good attacking game, and I want to watch get value for my money.
All right. Thank you so much with that. Another big game this weekend is going to be Spurs versus Manchester United. That will be another cracking game. I mean, the weekend game. Prof, I think you're saying something.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to what you said concerning the game. I just noticed something about City. I think, we just heard the offer for Lucas Paqueta from West Ham as is near collapse. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it might be a season where if City will challenge, they will do that based off of their defensive solidity. I don't particularly think they will be as slick as they were last season in attack, to be honest, with the things I've seen so far. Now, they might well go ahead now and, get Jeremy Doku or make another attacking signing that would boost them. But with De Bruyne out, I think it's a big call to take De Bruyne's assist out of that team. Look, De Bruyne is the key to Haaland's goals, and we can see that he's not as fluent as he is at this moment in time. I saw the game against Sevilla; they were lackluster in front. The young boy Kopama was the one who had to bail them out. So they have recruited well defensively with what's the boy's name? The boy from Leipzig, Vardio. Very strong defensively as far as I'm concerned. Vardio. They still have Rodri, but and obviously they have Haaland who can make magic happen at any time. He's a fox in the box, but I am still looking at them and looking at the creativity side of it. The attack, the midfield third. I'm looking at it and I'm like, are they really there? So I think it'll be the one to watch. Man City.
Yeah. All right. That's another one from Prof talking about this game, Man City versus Newcastle. Margaret, I'm going to put you on the spot for this one, Spurs versus Manchester United. I know you are very loaded about this game. Margaret, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
I can hear you.
Man U playing tomorrow, traveling all the way to Spurs. And you remember the first game against Wolves, we are peppered, we are battered, we are destroyed. We are actually disgraced game on the first game. Are you believing going into this second game? I'm talking about Spurs. Do you have confidence going into this game, Margaret?
Of course, I have confidence because when we look at head-to-head, in the last six meetings between these two clubs, United have come out top on 4 occasions, while Tottenham once, and then United drew once also. And there is another fact about Manchester United in that Tottenham new stadium. United have never lost in that stadium before. They on 4 occasions, on 4 visits, United came out top twice, and the remaining 2 they draw. So it's going to be a cracker though, but I actually do not see Tottenham coming out top. They will give a fight, but United will definitely get out of there with a 3 point, or the least will be a draw. Although the new boy Rashmon that came in from Atalanta, according to reports, will not be playing because of injury. We all know about that. That one. And then Tottenham, their first game, I think they won their first game. A huge boost also for them. But for Manchester United, though they struggled.
They drew their first game 2-2 against Brentford.
They drew their first game. Yeah. And then for Manchester United, although they played woefully against Wolves, they didn't really perform to high expectation. But I see them making amendment and probably coming out doing well against the London boys. So it's going to be a fantastic game if the manager Erik ten Hag will need to put things in place, get the right players play in their right position, and then probably Onana not doing some kind of mistake trying to play in the midfield or trying to go forward to leave the goalpost, because in that Tottenham team they have good players. You can't do that against the likes of Son. They have fantastic players who can play short, who can score from any angle. So you don't just leave that goalpost there. So right now is the time for him to stay there. All he has to do is to give that passes to Wan-Bissaka, pass, give that ball up. Then United need to score goal in this game. So I wish them good luck tomorrow. My team.
All right. Good luck tomorrow. Let me ask an Arsenal fan, Okay, going to this game, what do you think Manchester United needs to do? Or do you think, what's your own area of it? Is there anything you want to talk about this preview of this match? Okay, Spurs versus Manchester United.
I watched the United versus Wolverhampton game.
Very bad.
It felt like Ten Hag and United were overconfident. Some people would have seen it as them not being up to pace, but that wasn't it for me. United's team is physically up there. I think against most teams in the top 6, we're talking about physique and being ready for this season. I think Man United are up there than Spurs actually. Spurs had a very, very good preseason, and in terms of physique and form and stamina, I think both teams are up there. However, with United, me going back to my point about overconfidence, the way the team was set up and saturated, Casemiro was basically the only person left in midfield.
Yes.
And the two beside him, the two closest people to him at times during games were number 1, Luke Shaw, and number 2, I have to say Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who does not like to play in an inverted role. He prefers to play as an out-and-out fullback, right? So I think Ten Hag needs to be a bit more cautious, because Spurs have very, very dangerous attackers, and even starting from their new midfield pairing of Bissouma, and sometimes you have Oliver Skip. Bissouma is someone who can be very, very dangerous going forward as well. He knows how to begin the attack, and then they've got a rejuvenated James Maddison, who is now part of the leadership group in Spurs. So Spurs, for me, they look very compact, they look very rigid, and they would know what to do. So I think United need to be wary. Yes, United can get 3 points at White Hart Lane, but I think they need to give respect to Spurs going into the game.
Yes, thank you so much on that.
Let me just add to this game. I think this game favors Manchester United based on the setup that the new Tottenham manager tends to set up. Because when I watched them against Brentford, I saw the likes of the guy playing the right, what's his name, the Brazilian. The right back, Emerson Royal, getting into the midfield, adding bodies into the midfield, supporting the attack, and also the guy that played the left wing for them. Same. The both wing backs, the right and the left, inverting into the midfield, trying to support the attack. And I think that's going to give openings to the likes of Rashford, to the likes of Garnacho if he starts, or possibly might decide not to start Garnacho, maybe sit Garnacho on the bench, bring him in later in the game to run them when they're tired, because that tactics that it is Greek, the new Tottenham boss, his name Bonatologlu, what's his name? Sorry, apologies for murdering that name. The style of play suits what ETH loves to doing, which is playing in transition-based game, from defense to the midfield and counter hits, bam, 1, 2, 3 pass, and they're gone. So I think that setup Spurs are going to set up tomorrow, because I know they will be at home and they will not want to defend, they want to attack. Possibly suits Manchester United style of game. And I see Manchester United nicking this one over Spurs.
Oh my goodness, that's a good one from Arsenal fans believing in us for the first time in history. Oh my goodness. All right, going into this, let me switch a little bit back to this. Okay, let's this game I want to talk about tomorrow. Okay, we have Wolves already. That's be another cracking game. Liverpool Bournemouth. Shaye, please, could you please give us a preview about this game, Liverpool versus Bournemouth, and also Wolves versus Brighton? Shaye, over to you. Talk to me, Napoleon.
Oh well, for Liverpool Bournemouth,
yes,
it's actually be a pretty interesting game, because we know Andoni Raiola is someone who wants his teams to press. We saw that kind of last season, where his team was one of the high pressing sides in La Liga. So let's see if he's able to repeat that in the Premier League. And against Liverpool, I know they've signed Endo. I think they've signed Endo today, or deal is close to being agreed. But if he doesn't play tomorrow, it means Liverpool will still have their maybe scanty midfield for tomorrow's game. So that's a possible opening for Bournemouth to capitalize. And it seems they'll be pretty. The plan for them is to win the ball in high areas and then transition quickly. Let's see if they're able to do that against Liverpool tomorrow. Sri Lanka will be a threat, because we know he played for Liverpool previously, and he's someone who when he's on it, when he gets the ball in dangerous areas, it can be pretty devastating. So let's see if he's able to hurt his old side tomorrow. I think it will actually be a pretty high-scoring game between both sides. And let's not forget, last season, this particular fixture, I think it was 9-0 to Bournemouth, and that was a game that led to Scott Parker more or less trashing his team and saying they were not good enough, and then that led to his dismissal. So a lot has changed in the last 12 months. So let's see how Bournemouth fare on their visit to Anfield tomorrow. But I think this one will be quite closer than last year's result, and though I'm backing Liverpool to win it, but I don't think it will be a convincing victory. Maybe 3-1 or a 3-2.
All right. And what about Wolves? Brighton.
As for Wolves Brighton, I think this one will be interesting as well. Wolves, we saw them almost turn Man U on Monday. They were pretty good without the ball and with the ball. Without the ball, they forced Man U to play down the sides as opposed to being able to penetrate centrally. So let's see how they're able to fare against Brighton, who, in my opinion, are one of the best teams in the Premier League in terms of how they build up play and how they attack you. So I feel it won't be as easy for Gary O'Neill to stifle Brighton like he did to Man U on Monday. So let's see how this one goes. So this game, it won't be easy. It won't be straightforward, but I sense it's going to be a draw between both sides.
All right. Also this game, Prof, about this game Sunday, we are having Chelsea traveling all the way to another London side, I guess, West Ham. What's your preview on that? Because you handling just because of Chelsea, people like your your video as well too. So they want to hear from you the preview so far in this game, going into Sunday game, West Ham versus Chelsea.
Yeah. It's going to be it's a derby, it's a London derby match, so it's going to be pretty difficult. It's always difficult when you go to the London Stadium, and I think Chelsea are with they are with some injuries. We just learned that Reece James has uh, an asterisk.
You mean the best right back in the world?
No, in Chelsea.
The boy can't stay fit.
Not the world.
He can't seem to stay fit. So the last game at London Stadium, I think it was 1-1 that the Chelsea West Ham played. So this one, we'll be looking to improve on that result. Chelsea welcome Moises Caicedo and Lavia, the two latest signings, who they were able to register just in time for this game. So they are available to feature in this match. So we're yet to know if the manager will start them. So we expect Malo Gusto to come in right straight. That's why we signed him, to come in straight. The young boy, very exciting right back. I think it's an opportunity for him to show himself in Reece James's absence that is good enough to play for Chelsea. And aside that, we don't know yet if Poch will return back to his favored 4-2-3-1 formation. We saw that he changed the formation last match against Liverpool, went to the back three. Is he going to keep the Sassy, who scored on his debut? Or is he going to use Thiago Silva, who we know is starting to lose a little? I mean, age is on the side. He's 39 years. Can he cope with the pace
39.
of Said Berama? Yeah, Said Berama, Pablo Fornals, and the other guy. I've forgotten the one who scored a great goal for West Ham last match.
Jared Bowen.
Jared Bowen, thank you very much. So, and obviously with Antonio, I don't know if Antonio is still there, but obviously with Antonio. So it's going to be a very, very difficult. And now we learned that Paqueta is staying. So they still have the quality in that team. They've added James Ward-Prowse to that team, who is a great technician. West Ham are a physical side, and they have Thomas Suchek there. They have very physical players. They will be looking to utilize the set piece quality of James Ward-Prowse. So that is one Chelsea has. They have to look be wary of. I think they might want to go with Disasi, who is very physical. Obviously, maybe they might go with him instead of Thiago Silva. Yeah, so we're waiting to see we're waiting to see the lineup and see what Port is going to start. Is he going to start three midfielders, Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo, which some people are thinking is
we are ready.
Forward in absence
we are ready.
The absence of Christopher Nkunku, we are imagining maybe Enzo can play just behind Nicholas Jackson, who is a very, very exciting striker. We can see he made the most runs into the box in last match than any other player in the Premier League. So he shows his willingness to run and to attack the spaces. So hopefully Chelsea will I expect them to get a win at the London Stadium for this game.
Yeah, somebody just sent me a text message and I'm going to read it for you, Prof. I think the person is a Chelsea fan. It says, this year, if Chelsea fail to make top four, is it a good season or a bad season? Prof.
So to be very honest, right, we're looking at them breaking into the top five, right? So I don't think it's because we know that the fifth position ends with Champions League, right? They don't have any match. They spent money, albeit they spent it on more potentials than ready-made players. You see, that's the difference. Everybody shouting Chelsea has spent almost $1 billion, but there's a difference between signing players who are ready. Is the difference between signing a Caicedo or a Casemiro. Casemiro will give you instant delivery. You know what you're buying, right? Caicedo still has a lot of years to improve. Or Lavia. So Chelsea are investing in the future. That's where people are mixing up together.
Asa people will come for you.
Likes of Modric.
Asa will come for you.
No doubt about it. I'm not. Hold on. Let me finish, Margaret. I'm not taking it away from the fact that they have to finish top four. They have to finish top five. I think Pochettino should finish top five because he has one game per week. The players are quite young. Yes, we know that they are going to learn better. They're going to grow. But I still think there's enough quality in that team at this moment in time for them to finish top five. So if they don't finish top five, I think it's not good enough. It won't be good enough. if we don't finish talking.
All right. Crystal
This
Palace
one, please.
versus. No, hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, please come in with this Crystal Palace Arsenal. Because I projected that you'll be talking about the preview for Arsenal. We're still waiting for your videos for preview of this game on Monday. Hopefully, maybe Sunday you send a video. Okwe or Ehis give us a preview. But that's been said. Let's go straight to this one. On Monday, Arsenal will be traveling all the way to Crystal Palace. What's your thoughts on this game, Okwe?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Selhurst Park is never an easy place to go and get
At all.
But you know, I mean, first game of last season, the first official Premier League game of last season was Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, and Arsenal was able to get 3 points from there. So it's not like we don't know how to do it. The truth is, it's just a difficult place to go and get 3 points because Roy Hodgson, back in charge of Crystal Palace again, you know, he just knows how to get that thing ticking. Vieira found it difficult after a couple of months, and then Hodgson came in and it seemed like magic all over again. Yes, they are without Michael Olise, but you know, the usual culprits, Eberechi Eze,
Yes.
Hudson Edward, even from defense, I love the defensive pairing of Joachim Anderson and you know, the English lad who graduated from Chelsea's academy. His name has skipped my mind now. Mark Gehi, exactly. But they are well compacting. Their first team is always solid, in my opinion. But you know, the bench is always the problem. They've added well in the middle of the park with Jefferson Lemma, the former Bournemouth player. He's someone who is quite industrious in midfield. You know, he's a box-to-box midfielder, and then he can cause harm for teams. However, this Crystal Palace team is coming up against a stronger Arsenal side. Even with the absence of Julian Timber, good news is that Alexander Zinchenko is back and he's most likely going to fit into that inverted role. So I expect nothing less than 3 points from Arsenal. They do need to work hard to get the victory, but I expect 3 points for the Arsenal.
All right, you expect 3 points. I'm sure you also expect 3 points for Arsenal. Or is it a dodgy game for you going into this game on Monday?
Well, it's going to be dodgy because it's the second game of the season. The teams are still fresh from the back end of the beginning of the EPL weekend, and Crystal Palace won away, and now they'll be up for this one because you know this is a London derby, and this seems to be the fourth straight Crystal Palace versus Arsenal fixtures that has been under the floodlights. Because I know the fourth one Arteta won against Hudson is that was when he was preparing to leave. Under Vieira, I think he lost one, drew 1-1 last season, and this season again is under the floodlights. For whatever reason, the guys fixing the matches, I don't know what they are. I don't know the agenda behind that, but maybe there's a reason we don't know. But the fourth straight matches now have been under the floodlights, if my stats serve me right. Crystal Palace, yes, they want to up the ante because they know Arsenal, they know the team that is coming. They know that Arsenal's ambition this season is to, compete to win the league. So everybody will want to try to, throw wheels at the spanner of Arsenal. But the good thing about this one is I know Crystal Palace would not want to sit defensively or form those low blocks for us. I'm sure they will want to come out and attack. And such tactics favors Arsenal when you come out toe-to-toe to attack Arsenal. And I know Arsenal has the manpower to execute. Despite, like Okwes mentioned, despite some of the players being injured, notable one like Timber. Arteta mentioned in the presser that everybody is fit to play. But the good thing about it is everybody being fit to play gives the manager a headache on who to start and who not to start. We had a behind closed door game yesterday against Luton Town, the 1-3-0. The game was played in a sequence of 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes, 3 halves. And our new goalkeeper, David Raya, was on goalpost for 60 minutes. I'm sure Arteta has a reason for that. I think Ramsdale kept 30 minutes and Trossard scored 2 and Saka scored 1. Because we know we're not going to play this weekend, so it's an opportunity for the players to keep themselves busy. I feel there's something Arteta is not seeing because if you look at that first game, despite we controlling that game for the first 80 minutes, just that horrendous mistake that happened and Nottingham Forest put a goal back all of a sudden it went into panic mode, and Arsenal couldn't control that game for the remaining 10 minutes, which a whole lot of people said Arsenal hung on to win, which I didn't see that as hanging on to win. Because if you dominate a game for like 70, 80 minutes, 2-0 up, and which you had opportunities to have even scored the third or the fourth due to good saves by McTominay, the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, he showed we control that game. But I know there is something Arteta is seeing in that team. Maybe because it's still the beginning of the season, preseason issues are still there because they had a very good preseason. Possibly the legs are tired, and he doesn't want those people. He doesn't want the players to be tired, or he doesn't want them to be out of shape. I think that was what led to that turn-up game, because it's so strange during the beginning of the season where matches like that should be put aside, and Arsenal is organizing one. And I just hope the players don't get injured, because if these games are too much, at times they affect. Example, someone like Saka. I just hope Saka don't play 90 minutes that game on that day against Crystal Palace. But I see Arsenal having what it takes to tame new Crystal Palace. Though it's going to be a feisty one, because the place I fear most is Crystal Palace ground and Everton. If you look at the stadium, the fans, they are closer to the pitch. And, definitely they will be more than the Arsenal fans. And that will give them the impetus to do what they want to do in supporting Crystal Palace. But I just feel whatever happens that day, Arsenal should come with the W and get the 3 points on the board.
All right, let's move on to this next topic, which is more sensitive at the moment, and we have to discuss it. But before we start discussing it, I want you, Robbie, there's going to be a final match on Sunday, the Women's World Cup. I want you to tell the viewers what should be expecting. I'm going to start my own question to ask you, because I know you follow the game so well. Was it a good outing for Africans, or is we still the same old same? I mean, what's your thought going into this?
Well, I think for Africa, this World Cup was a good outing. Looking at the context you're going to see it from, of the 4 teams that represented Africa, all the 4 teams were able to win at least one match. South Africa won a match, Nigeria won a match, Morocco won 2 matches, and of course we have Zambia, who won their last game. So at least all the African teams were able to get at least a win in their campaign. 3 of the African teams were able to get into the round of 16. And of course, if you are looking at that on paper, that is 75% success rate into the round of 16. From the round of 16, all of them were sent packing. But the whole thing for Africa is that Africa still has a long way to go, because you don't want a tournament where you're going to send 4 teams or 4 representatives, and after the next round, which is the knockout round, or the first stage of the knockout round, they are all sent packing. That is not what you want for a continent like Africa. So hopefully in the next edition in 2027, Africa will do better. Between now and that period, African football would have been able to at least bridge the gap to a respectable position in which African teams, or at least an African team, will do one better by going maybe into the quarterfinals or more or less semifinals. It's not impossible. So I think Africa's project in the next 4 years has to look at that as the major goal of an African country at the next Women's World Cup. For the final that is set to come on Sunday, that is where the conundrum is. The final is between the 3 Lionesses of England against La Roja of Spain. Yeah. First and foremost, both teams are getting into the finals for the first time. So we're going to see a first-time champion for the first time in a long time. And one thing that makes this game so special is that both teams met at the quarterfinals of last year's Euros that was played in Europe, in which England eventually emerged as champions. And England won after extra time 2-1. So it tells you that both teams know each other very well. And another thing going into this game is the fact that, one, Lauren James, who was suspended for the quarterfinals and the semifinals, will be very much available for Coach Serena Wigman, that is in the finals against Spain. That is one. 2, there is trouble in paradise. Why? Because about 15 players in the Spanish national team camp do not like the coach. And Margaret said in the introduction, there was a case of a revolt that was during the last Euros and preparation for this tournament. But the Spanish football authorities had to find a way to quash it. And unfortunately, that revolt has started again. Because in their semi-final victory, the Spanish players did not celebrate with the coach. So now, the question here is, will that baggage follow them onto the pitch, or will that baggage more or less dent their chances of being crowned world champions for the first time against England? But whatever way you actually look at it, trust that the English will play dirty, trust that the English will more or less say things in respect of this, because this is an open secret. The English would find a way to make sure that they let the Spanish player understand that they know what is going on in their camp. The English want to be crowned world champions, and of course also do something that the male national team did last time out, 1966, when the Three Lions won the Men's World Cup. So the English women's national team will also want to more or less break this feat, as well as become double champions. Not just world champions, they are also current European champions. So it is a whole lot riding into this game for Spain and for England. And I tell you, you will see women play football like men. And of course, a lot of tackles will fly up and down when both two teams lock on Sunday.
All right, I'm going to ask you quickly, once again, don't go yet, Robbie. Stay. Yeah. What's your score prediction? Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? Women's World Cup?
Well, I think England on paper looks very strong. They have an all-rounded team. Spain also is one team you cannot underestimate. But I think I would want to go the way of England. Why? Because they have the psychological advantage over Spain. The last Euros, they met twice. They met in the group stage. The game ended in a draw, in a stalemate, and they met in the quarterfinals where England defeated them after extra time 2-1. So I think England will more or less get their hands on the title on Sunday.
All right, thank you so much on that. So we want to cross
over. Didon, please, can you hold Robbie for once? I want to ask him a question, please.
Okay.
Can I just put my contribution before you ask the question?
All right,
yes. I think you asked a question about the Africans doing well or not, and I heard Robbie's response. That's Robbie's opinion, and I respect his opinion. But when you look at it face value, it was shambolic from the African countries that represented us. Looking at, because it beats me, if you look at history, because we can't take out history in football. Looking at 1998 and 1999 thereabouts, when Pepsi used to organize, I don't know if Robbie will remember, when Pepsi used to organize organized the Kano Heart Foundation thingy in Lagos National Stadium. I think it was a yearly program back then, and the Falcons played the Arsenal ladies that year, and Falcons defeated the Arsenal ladies 8-0. The data is up there, you can check. It was a friendly match, and at that level, the female football in Nigeria was this high. Now it hurts me to see how we have gone from this level down to this level. You know, I said it a few weeks ago that when we won and everybody was jubilating, I said it, I'm not gassed because I know where it's going to end, because I know how it is going to end. Credit to the ladies, they gave it a fight against the Three Lionesses, and they took it to extra time, also took it to penalties. Like also penalties, anybody's game, anybody can win. But in terms of building, the problem now is what we have currently. Can we take it from where it is now to the next level? In the next 4 years, what we're going to hear is another kettle of fish, another story of how this is not happening, that is not happening. For me, it's a pity. It's just that the ladies, the European guys, understand what it takes to plan ahead and what it takes to build a team. So I'm gonna go with Robbie's assertion. Three Lionesses will take it over. The men has been shouting, it's coming home, it's home. For the past 60-something years, it hasn't come home. But for the ladies, hopefully this time
the women
will come home.
Power of women, you know.
All right, what's your question, Margaret, to Robbie? Quick one.
Robbie, FIFA President Infantino made a statement. He said, one, that the women need to push the door to equality. That's one. And also that with men, with FIFA, that you will find open doors, just push the doors. Can you, in a layman's language, explain to us or to me what what Infantino actually meant by that when he was talking about the Women's World Cup?
You go to court, oh.
Do you know what? Do you know why I'm laughing? Do you know why I'm laughing? Because first and foremost, last time I checked, I am not the PA to Infantino. Neither am I the spokesperson to FIFA. But see, whatever context Infantino is looking at in terms of push the door and of course equality, I think is more or less trying to encourage the women's game to more or less reach the level of what the men do at this point in time. Because if you still look at it, there's still that gap between men and women. Yes, a couple of countries like the English national team for the women, the Canadian team, as well as the American teams have been fighting in terms of the fact that they have been the most successful when it comes to football in those respective countries. And if you look at the pay packet for the men and the women, it doesn't reflect the amount of success and honor these female national teams have brought to the country. And that is one thing that they also want to change. They want a situation where their effort tallies with what they take home, and of course their effort tallies with the kind of recognition they get in the way the men's game is seen. So I think that is more or less what Infantino is just trying to talk about.
All right, let's move on to this one. Straight up, it's very, very sensitive at the moment, but we got to talk about it, guys. Situation about M.Greenwood, which the club reacted, and what next? I'm going to start. Everybody's going to have a say on this one before we wrap up the show. So I'm going to give just a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes, from everybody to talk about this situation. How, as I'm sure Man U has not, handled this situation very well. But I want to hear your opinion, guys, on this one. That's why I'm playing a very soft music at the moment. Just, it is what it is. But I'm going to start off with you, Okwe. Just 2 minutes because of our time. So go for it, bro.
All right. So simply put, I do not support the decision by Man United to bring M.Greenwood back. Morally, ethically, I think it is wrong. Very, very wrong. But I'll take you back to 1993, right? Eric Cantona had an issue with a fan. The game was against Leeds United, if I'm not mistaken. Cantona kicked this individual, the fan, on the chest. Cantona spent just a couple of days in jail. But at the end of the day, he was reinstated by United. So my point is that in this case, Man United is not new to dealing with such issues. However, the one with Cantona was a bit different because the fan attacked first and Cantona reacted. Now we're in a totally different world. And we're very much aware of we know what abuse is. We saw the pictures, we saw the videos, the evidence is there. But you know what makes this case so conflicting is the fact that this same young woman went ahead to get back together with M.Greenwood, and they have a child together, and it seems like they are living happily ever after. That doesn't take anything away from the action and the man who M.Greenwood is. So I do not support it, but in the business angle, number one, and for footballing reasons, it makes a lot of sense. M.Greenwood is a product of the Man United Academy. He's been someone who has been loyal to the team. He is a valuable player. My oh my. If M.Greenwood did not have that issue, I am sure today we'll be having debates about who is the better forward, M.Greenwood or Bukayo Saka. This boy is ambidextrous. He doesn't even know which one is his weak foot. Shoots like Robin Van Persie, positioning like Ruud van Nistelrooy. What else do you want from a complete forward in today's football? So, from the business point of view, and footballing reasons, it makes sense. But personally, it is wrong. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Thank you so much, Sheye. Over to you.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'll just echo Okwe's thoughts because, like you mentioned, the person that was abused is apparently back together with Greenwood, and then they have a child together, or they're expecting a child. So I'm not sure. Are they married or are they preparing to get married?
Daily, I mean,
They are not married yet. They are not married yet.
Okay. So
Old man. No, Billy.
One just answer the question.
so it's like I mentioned, it's conflicting, and it's been obvious from the start that I've always felt mine were biding their time. I felt the plan was always to try and maybe wait it out and then hope that they'll be able to integrate him back into the squad. And I think that is if you check Man U's website, check the players section. I think his profile is now back on the players section as well.
Yeah.
So it's all. I think I had this debate with a few friends a few months back. I told them that look, Man U want to bring him back. They are just trying to maybe bide their time and hope there will be a maybe not so fierce reaction. I want to believe there will be a fierce reaction, and I wonder how the match-going fans will actually react if he's brought back. Because if you look at opinions on Twitter, I think fans have been mixed. Although it seems the most fans are leaning towards having him back in the squad. But I kind of sense that in the stadium we might hear a few loud boos home and away. So let's see how everyone deals with that. But I personally have always felt Man U have been trying to bring him back. They've just been trying to buy their time, and ethically and morally it's wrong, but it's obvious they want to bring him back. So I guess we'll just see how things go eventually.
All right. Let me ask Robbie, over to you on this one. What do you think about the situation of missing Greenwood?
First and foremost, I think the idea of Man U trying to bring him back will more or less bring more harm than good to the club, and not because of anything. It is so unfortunate because when it comes to relationship between a man and a woman, it is something nobody can more or less advocate the case successfully. Because a woman will come out and tell you, oh, Mr. A slapped me. And tomorrow you see both of them hugging under a tree. And you're asking yourself, what exactly is going on between the two of you? Yeah. So that is one thing that makes this case very, very complicated. A very, very popular lady yesterday made an announcement saying that if Man United brings Miss Wood back to the club, that she would leave the club and no longer support the club. And of course, the blowback is the fact that some sponsors are really not so happy about this particular news. That is, if Man United decides to go through with it. And like I said, on the field of play, the young man offers so much. Promising career, amazing footballer, beautiful footballer. And I said it when the story broke out. There's a footballer who is just trying to have your niche in this industry, in this game, that we've seen a lot of great names come and go. Why would you be this stupid and naive to go through such a thing? But it is his personal life, it is personal decision. For Man United, I believe that they will feel the backlash if they bring M.Greenwood back. The last report I got as regards this particular story is the fact that United are bidding their time before they bring him back because they want to get the opinions of supporters as well as female members of the Man United women's team to know how they are going to react. And some of these ladies have come out to say that they will not react too kindly to the fact that this is somebody who had an issue, like Okwe and Shahira rightly said, the evidences were all over the world. Everybody saw the abuse, everybody saw the messages and so on and so forth. So I really don't think it bodes well for United, but I don't know who are behind the decision. Whatever decision that they make at the end of the day, they will have to bear the consequences of it. But for me, I think the best thing they should have done, just like Man City did, even though Mendy was acquitted, I think the best thing United should have done was to sell this guy off and let him go. Because yes, Mendy was acquitted, but you don't see him play for United. You don't see him play for Manchester City up till now. They come back to cut him loose, cut M.Greenwood loose, and count this as a loss. And of course, move on with your life. Before M.Greenwood was United, after M.Greenwood, United will still be here. That is just my own 2 cents.
All right, I'm going to move on to Prof. I want to hear your thoughts about the situation about M.Greenwood. What's your thoughts, Prof?
Yeah, very quickly, I echo what Okwe said. I don't think Man United should bring him back because I think it will cause a lot of uproar. I think it will send the wrong message I'm reading on I read on is it on Twitter when one famous co-presenter Riley, she said that she will stop supporting United if
Yeah.
the forward remains at the club. And I'm very sure there are a lot of females like her who would go with such decisions. So they have to take into cognizance these female supporters as well. I think it's going to send the wrong message because the statistics have said that less than 1% of rape cases reported to the police always lead to conviction. So the females think that most of these cases are usually swept under the carpet, and they will think this is one of those cases that has been swept under the carpet. So I personally think that they shouldn't. It's going to be a tough decision because obviously he's a fantastic player with a good prospect, but I think Man United can do without such stain on their standards and their morals.
Yeah, that just remind me of. I'm just trying to think about this missing Greenwood. I'm sure one thing I want to tell viewers on my own. I mean, my own point of view is, I think being this player is just a bang average player, or maybe it's not good. Let me put it that way. I'm sure Man U will have sold him without even wasting time, but because this guy's just just the beginning from him. So I think they are just hanging around. Let's see what the reaction. But for me, I would have preferred him to be. I mean, let me put it this way: go on loan, maybe to another league. Maybe as time goes on, maybe time will actually, if you see how he's doing very well, people will like to say, "Oh, let's bring him back." I mean, they didn't handle the situation very well. So I'm crossing over to Aiz. What's your thought before I call on Margaret, who is the lady among us, to actually see our own position? But then, Aiz, what's your position on this?
Yeah, a lot of people, most of the guys have said what's on my mind. Issues like this, like you mentioned earlier, the writer on this topic, he said it's a very sensitive issue, very, very sensitive. And when it comes to issue of rape allegation and the likes, most especially on the side of these football stars, it's not taken lightly. And I read earlier today that the allegations were dropped. He wasn't convicted of the rape, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He wasn't convicted of the rape, and that means he's a free man. And also, someone mentioned among the other guys, I can't remember who mentioned it, that this same said lady had gone back to be with him. And as Robbie said also, he said the issue of husband and wife, I think if we look at in our own native context, or if I'm to interpret it in English, when it comes to a stranger doesn't intermeddle in the issue of a husband and a wife. That's appropriately interpreted in English. But this, like I said, is a very sensitive issue. And we are in a generation of the Sorosuke generation. I mentioned something that happened in '93 about the French guy Eric Cantona. That was seen real time, live. Everybody saw it. Cameras panned in it. People witnessed what happened. But in this case, for me, I would like to take a different route. In a situation whereby we saw pictures, there were no evidence. Now I'm talking in the context of the case that was dropped in the court of law. At least it went to the court of law. And the way the law works, if there are no proper evidence to back up your claim, it will be dropped, and which was dropped for, what's his name? Mason Greenwood. On the other side, Mason Greenwood is an academy player, and I'm sure the club values him that much. Like you mentioned, if it was a bang average player, possibly it could have been, let's shake hands, kumbaya, go your way, I go my way. But I'm sure there's a prospect. I'm sure there has been plans. When that thing happened, we heard his personal deals he had, personal things he had were stripped off. And the club were biding the time to see how he can come back. If it was, let's say, 15 years ago, possibly this would have just, slide under the carpet and everybody would move on. But in this generation that we are, due to the advent of social media and due to the issues that have happened around the world, where people tend to speak up, like I said, Sorosuke, interpreted in Nigeria and Yoruba language Nigeria, this will not go down well because people will stand. And when it comes to issues like rape, is not an issue you can just bat your eyelid on and say you want to move on. And this is a deterrent to football stars. You have to be careful. Though some come out to be innocent, like the case of Mendy in Man City. After how many years he was innocent, he was proven innocent. But now the issue is, somebody raised a valid question that what happens to the opposite sex that come up with this allegation? They tend to walk straight free on the street. They tend to walk free on the street. And look at Mendy, 3 years of his life, 3 years of his career collapsed. So now, in the context of M.Greenwood, I think Manchester United are trying to balance the issue here. But in balancing this issue, it has raised an uproar, and I know it will not end well. And the best thing is just to, I am not judging this matter, but I would suggest the best thing is just to cut ties with M.Greenwood in order to prevent other issues to rise. Because once these issues begin to rise, once there are internal wranglings within the club, it could cause an unrest within the club. So it's better cut ties with him, let him go, wish him the very best, and the sky is the limit for him. That's just my own 2 cents.
Yes. I want to ask Margaret, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh, well, thank you, Didon. I've listened to what the guys have said, but this is actually my own opinion. Right now, when we look at, probably if there was no child in the picture, maybe it should have been a different case. I'm actually not I'm not saying I supported what he did, but I actually did not know if he actually did that, because the same victim that came out and said he wants to rape or attempted rape or he raped me is the mother of his child, and they are together. So it makes it's actually complicated. So we don't know. And the good thing is that the court has actually proven him has actually freed him, said he's innocent. Actually dropped, make him innocent. I was listening. There is a particular former player, Nigerian player. I don't want to mention his name here. He's one of the popular guy. He's working with one of these radio stations, a sports radio station. I think we should be familiar with him. I listened to his program one day. He said something. I think it was the case of this Mendy guy. That was like last year. He said something that you see these girls in Europe. I mean, most of these girls, what they do when they see players who are, good players, and they have a lot of money and a lot of that, they tend to go near these players, and then some of these players fall victim to them. They fall victim to them. You see some of them, they are probably underage, but they will come out and tell you they are overage, probably are over 18, and then you don't know, you actually fall for them. They set you up. But if you're not careful, you fall into their trap, and then the next thing, they take it up, they claim victim. Now, what happened to M.Greenwood? Like he said nobody saw it. Like what happened, Eric Cantona, we all saw it. Okay, now look at Mendy. They said he raped. There were a lot of allegations against him and all of that, and then the court just freed him. He is free. That's to tell you that sometimes what we see on social media is not the thing. Sometimes we follow only one side story. We don't listen to the other side. And for that period of time when the allegation actually was laid against M.Greenwood, and now I think it's enough time. There's been no issue. It's enough time for the fans to actually forgive him and let him come back. Already the court has said there is no allegation against you. So that means that people should let it go. I won't say the fan, because a lot of fans are actually clamoring for him to come back. If you check Manchester United stories on Facebook, on Instagram, on all you're seeing is hashtag Greenwood back, bring back Greenwood, bring back Greenwood, bring back Greenwood. So I do not actually know which of these fans they are saying that he shouldn't come back, because all what I am seeing on all social media is hashtag bring back Greenwood. When United post something about maybe a match or about this thing, the response you see there is not in line with what United posted. Is hashtag bring back Mason Greenwood. So to me, I feel that the case against him has been dropped. So what's there? Let him continue to play. If he has shown remorse, and if at least there's been a change, or I actually do not know if he did it in the first place. I do not know who did what, who did not do what. I am going with the law. The law said there was no case against him, he's been dropped. So I feel if United want him back, he should play. Let him come back. So there is no need telling him to drop. When a child misbehaves, how do you lead him? How do you lead that child into a right path? Is it by throwing him away? Him or highway? No. You bring that child closer, then you watch that child, you try to mentor that child and put that child in a right path. But if you throw that child away just because he did something that we did not know actually if it happened, what will not happen? So I want Mason Greenwood to come back.
Wow. All right. We want to wrap up the show. I want to go and watch the game. Everything is dicey. You can talk on and on. So I'm going to create a space. Of course, it's not here. I want to go into either we're going to use Instagram or Twitter. Let's see people's opinion. That is a serious case right now. This is how far we can go. But before I can sign you guys out, we have to talk about this. I'm going to start with you, Cheye, straight up. What's your score prediction with this game? Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Straight up.
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1 Liverpool. What about Man City, Newcastle? Another big game.
Man City 2, Newcastle 1.
All right. What about Spurs? Versus Manchester United. I love you. I know what.
Spurs will beat Man U.
All right. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night, All right. Good night.
Thank you so much. Out. All right, Robbie. I'm going to start with you right off. Just tell me what's your mind. Now, what's your game? What's your prediction between Liverpool versus Bournemouth?
Liverpool Bournemouth to win 2-1.
Bournemouth to win 2-1. What about Manchester United versus? No, hold on. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. That would be
Arsenal to win 2-1.
2-1. 2-1 to Arsenal. All right. Thank you so much, Robbie. Thank you so much.
You have him on mind.
Okay, let me ask you. All right, we are having fun. All right, tell me. What's the score prediction on that? Manchester United. Yeah. All right, thank you so much.
Bye. Bye. Out.
All right. What about on this one? Let me see what I'm going to ask now. Right now. All right. Let me ask Prof. Prof is out. Okay. Yeah. Prof is here. I'm here. All right. Let's talk about this game. West Ham, Chelsea. What's your score prediction on that?
Yeah, I think Chelsea will win.
Wow, Chelsea's going to win. Wow, that's fantastic. What about Arsenal versus Crystal Palace? People want to hear that one.
Palace.
People want to.
I'm seeing a 2-2 draw.
Draw. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That's a good one. Oh, massive. All right,
Newcastle.
Man City 2-1. What about Manchester United versus Spurs?
Yeah, Liverpool 1 more. Liverpool to win.
You know you're a darling.
Then before you take me out, Man United. Oh,
Prof, you're a darling.
really?
You're a darling. Don't forehand.
Out! Straight up. What are you talking about? I just like that. Now he is. We are brothers. We are one. You know.
No, straight on. So if you start Liverpool, Bournemouth,
For you.
Liverpool wins that. Liverpool takes the 3 points.
All right.
I think they're going to. It's really a slim margin, but they're going to win Bournemouth. And also Spurs, Manchester United. Like I said earlier, I think Spurs is set up in such a way the way Spurs is going to set up, it will aid the transition game. ETH has always been shouting, and it now depends on if Manchester United take their chances when they go on those transitions. But I see Manchester United winning this. I'm not saying this to bloat your ego, John or Margaret, but I'm just saying this on face value because that Spurs I saw last week. If that guy wants to use that tactics for the entire season, he's going to concede a lot of goals and possibly lose matches heavily. So I see Manchester United winning that one. Man City, Newcastle, I see it ending in a draw because I think Newcastle this time around have much more what it takes to give Man City trouble. And also West Ham, Chelsea. I see West Ham winning this.
Oh my goodness!
The Storm. No, truth be told, what I saw against Chelsea against Liverpool, it was a poor Liverpool side that didn't really know what to do in terms of they were only bright in the first 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes it was game over. It was Chelsea all through. But this time around, Chelsea are going away. The West Ham fans, the fans will be behind them, and they're going to give Chelsea a run for their money. Pressure now is on the midfield pairing that they've signed. It comes a lot of pressure, whether we want to take it or leave it, because these guys are young, such huge amounts of money. 110 million pounds. You feel you can just walk in there and the pressure not being on you, the pressure will be on you. So this is not like the time while it was at Brighton. Now it's a Chelsea with that big money tag. I see West Ham giving Chelsea a lot of trouble, and possibly West Ham will nick that game. Crystal Palace, Arsenal. If Arsenal tend to take the chances, if Arsenal don't get sloppy, Arsenal should take the 3 points and go back to the Emirates for the next fixture.
All right, I wish I could bring Prof back to tackle you that Chelsea.
It's just simply it's my opinion and it's left for Chelsea to show what they have to show that day on Sunday to win the game.
All right, thank you so much, bro. One love, bro. Thank you so much. All right, people, this is the Dawn reaction on this one. I'm telling you the fixtures. I'm going to run the scoreline and clip this if you are betting on this. Let me tell you, I'm listening to the Octopus sound. Really listen to me. Nottingham Forest is going to end 2-2. And on Saturday, Fulham versus Brentford. Talk to me, Octopus. Talk to me on that one. Also, I see a draw. It's going to be 1-1. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Liverpool is going to win this game with 2-1. And Wolves, Brighton. Brighton is going to beat Wolves 2-1 as well too. But Manchester United versus Spurs. Even my son has already told me that Man United will make that win. So it's going to be Manchester United 2. Spurs 1. Man City versus Newcastle is going to be 2-1 as well too. I see Man City making this one. On Sunday, Aston Villa versus Everton. Let me tell you something. That game, Aston Villa is going to win that game with 2-0 in favor of Aston Villa. Let me tell you, Chelsea will lose this game. I'm seeing this. I'm sorry. Chelsea will lose this game to West Ham. It's going to be 1-0 to West Ham. Check it out. And on Monday, I'm seeing draw. Crystal Palace 1 and Arsenal 1. That's the way I'm seeing it on this show. People, smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, share this broadcast. And I tell you, we are so happy to have you. Once again, this is how far I can go. On to the next one where we come back on Monday for the sports review show. I'm saying once again, the Dawn is signing out. Big up to everybody as watched us and helped us in one way. Smash the like on the video once again. Bye for now.